Shortly after Vetiver was recorded, I found myself in Memphis, Graceland, with Jason Kostal once again, and we were standing over the resting place of Elvis Presley, and he turned around to me and he said, "Look, it's about time I made you another guitar, isn't it?" And of course, yeah, he was absolutely right. There's not a lot you can say at that point. Where do you go from something like this? You know, this was something that we both wrestled with. I was very happy with 32. There was nothing about this instrument that I felt the need to change. But, you know, I love a challenge, and this was an opportunity to look at something new. Jason's range of instruments since he started, which at that point was just a modified Dreadnought and an orchestra model, he'd subsequently introduced a jumbo model and a double O as well. So I had a bigger range to choose from, but we agreed that it might be worthwhile for us to explore the possibilities of a completely new model. And that's how the Kostal Guitars MDW model came to be. And here it is. This is the very first Kostal Guitars MDW. It's serial number 99. Is it a signature model? Well, it's got my initials. I guess it's more of a monogram than an actual signature. This design was the culmination of everything I'd learned so far as a guitarist. The most important parts of it also tell parts of this story that I've shared with you today. Let's start from the neck. 12 frets, that goes back directly to my classical days, but also from Isaac Guillory. He played a 12 fret Martin Dreadnought, a D35S, and you know, he used to say to me, if you can't do it with 12 frets, you really ought to reassess. There's something about a 12 fret guitar. Obviously the neck joins the body at the octave, the bridge is in the sweet spot of the lower bout. They just have this astonishing richness to them, and you know, with a cutaway I have full access to the fretboard. I don't feel like I'm sacrificing anything whatsoever. Number 99 is made from quilted bird's eye maple on the back and sides. This started off as a joke between me and Jason. Neither of us thought it existed until he found a set. The MDW has two parents, really. The first is the Undermento 2, that's Emoji MD from back in the day. The maple on the back and sides is obviously directly inspired by that. The other one was a Martin nylon string from the 1800s, which belongs to a friend of mine. I'd had the pleasure of playing that guitar at Abbey Road Studios, and it was just a glorious experience, incredibly intimate and detailed, tiny little body, bird's eye maple, once again. It didn't project past about sort of 6 feet, but you really didn't need it to. It was a completely different voice. So what we have here is an amalgamation of the two instruments. So when Jason and I sat down to look at a new design, we knew we were looking at something mid-sized that wasn't an OM. Jason's double O design is absolutely stunning, but it doesn't allow for a cutaway. Jason's OM, while it's a wonderful instrument, I didn't need that level of sweetness that the rounded lower bout and the pinched waist would give me. I wanted essentially the same characteristics as an MD, just on a smaller scale perhaps, and that's how the MDW was born. As far as specifications go, the MDW was approached in pretty much the same way as 32 had been. Jason and I, when we were working together, we like to keep things simple and have a theme of 2 woods maximum. So with 32 it was mahogany and ebony. With the MDW, obviously it was the quilted bird's eye maple and ebony. Once again, we've got ebony on the insides. This neck takes inspiration directly from that Martin I was talking about earlier, which in fact had slices of ivory going through it as well. In this case, it's just a beautiful piece of mahogany that's been blacked out. It was only after I received the guitar that Jason told me that the mahogany had actually been a really beautifully grained example, and it had been quite painful watching it get a layer of matte black all over it. But hey, these things happen. The MDW was designed for a different purpose to number 32. It's all about richness and nuance, as well as the power that you get from the shape of an MD. And before it even arrived, I found myself writing for it. Looking for the sort of textures that I knew I'd be able to pull out of a 12-fret guitar, and writing with the sort of space I knew I was going to be given due to the sustain that you get from maple. I'm really enjoying the new sonic spectrum that this guitar is allowing me to explore. I guess it's like learning a language. I've always found that the more subtle ideas, subjunctives, conditionals, that sort of thing, they're actually the most beautiful words. And when it comes to playing this instrument, it's allowing me a depth of expression that I've never had before. I've always believed that music is a language. It is unique amongst languages in that it celebrates ambiguity. It's not about information, it's about emotion. And as a musician and a creator of music, I feel a responsibility to communicate with as much skill and with as much accuracy and I guess just truth as I can. And this guitar really helps in that regard.